Dad? We're going to have a visitor.
A visitor?
Suzanne Gilbert, the girl I stayed with in Paris 2 years ago.
Oh, yes, the ill-fated art career that cost me a small fortune.
I invited her to stay with us if she ever came over, and she's taken me up on it. Oh, and her fiancé, a French Air Force captain, is joining her here in a few days.
Okay, honey, the Hotel de la Albright is open for business. Is that from Roberta?
Yes, it's from Roberta, but you better not read it now.
I might just as well face it. I thought this was supposed to be a business trip. The first night she was away, she went dancing with a guy 49, and the next night with a guy 44. And now listen to this. Last night I went dancing with a man from the Baltimore office, Bill Davenport, height 5'11", wavy red hair, age 39. Why does she always have to keep rubbing in their ages?
But, Dad, she's only doing as you told her. You said you wanted a detailed report on everything she did. I heard you myself.
But I didn't say anything about their ages. Is it my fault that I'm almost 50?
Oh, please, Dad. You're just getting all worked up over nothing.
Nothing? Roberta goes dancing with a guy 39 with wavy red hair, and you call it nothing.
Oh, now really, Dad.
Well, I guess we all have to grow old sometime.
Will you stop being so silly?
At least I still have you.
What are you trying to do? Talk yourself into something? Why, just last week you played 6 sets of tennis in one afternoon. You wore me out.
Well, I guess old age hits you all of a sudden. Someday you'll understand. You'll wake up one morning and you can almost feel your arteries hardening.
Dad.
Margie, will you help your poor old pappy up? Honey, let's buy a set of chessmen.
Chessmen?
I'm pretty good at chess. Oh, don't feel sorry for me, but when you come to visit me once a week, they'll all tell you that your old dad is the chess champ of the place.
Chess champ of what place?
Of the old folks' home. Bundle me up warmly, dear. Help me to the elevator.
Oh, Mr. Honeywell.
Hello, Margie.
Well, where's my father?
That's what I came to see you about.
Something's happened to Dad.
Something's happened, all right. It's that business about Miss Townsend. Some man 39 years old with wavy red hair.
Oh, is that all?
All? He's driving me nuts. Margie, this thing is more serious than you think. This morning at the office, I got so tired of seeing him act like an old man that I went out and I bought him a hot water bottle just to show him how silly he was. And what do you think he did?
What?
He thanked me for it, filled the darn thing up, and put it inside of his jacket.
It's just one of those kicks he goes on. He'll be okay.
No, Margie, it's not just a kick. I've known your father for a long time, and I know when something's got him down. He's convinced that he's old and hopeless.
Well, Mr. Honeywell, what can we do?
I don't know, Margie, but we've got to do something. I know just how he feels. I'm 76 now, and I know I'm old. But I went through the same thing as your father when I wasn't old.
When you were 50?
No, last year when I was 75. If anything, your father's young for his age. Why, except for his white hair, he could pass for 40.
I know. If only he'd... Wait a minute. Maybe that's all he needs. A little reminder of just how young he does look.
What do you mean?
Suppose he looked in the mirror and saw himself as he really is. Still plenty young and handsome.
Margie, I'll do anything to snap your father back to normal. After all, he's an old and dear friend of mine. And besides that, the way he's acting now, I'm not getting my money's worth out of him. What's on your mind?
How do you think he'd like himself in black hair, with black eyebrows, and a black mustache?
What? Why, you know he'd never go for anything like that.
No, but once it was done, I bet he'd like it.
Margie, not even you could talk him into having his hair dyed.
So we get it done without Dad knowing anything about it. Come on, we've got to see a man.
The usual, Mr. Albright?
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, what's the idea? All I want is a friction rub and tonic.
A new system to keep the tonic from getting into your eyes.
Oh, okay.
a hurry.
Joe's really pouring it on.
He'd better do a good job holding me up for a whole week's allowance. But it'll be worth a lot more than that just to see Dad smiling again.
Now a little eyebrow cream, Mr. Albright. Won't take but a second. Keep your eye closed, please. All right, Mr. Albright. Thank you very much.
Joe, will you get out of the way?
Surprise, Dad. Isn't it wonderful? Aren't you thrilled?
Yes, sir, all right. The girls will all be whistling at you on the way home.
Don't you like it?
Wait, Mr. Albright, this was my idea.
Do me a favor, Joe. Let's see if you can wash it off as fast as you put it on.
Yeah, I will, Mr. Albright. Right away, yes.
Please, Dad, don't be hasty about it. We'll all have dinner out, and then when we get home, if you still don't like it, I promise you I'll wash it off myself, honest. Come on, Pappy.
It's no use, folks. It's no use. It's just like painting an old house. Inside, the plaster's falling down.
Now the plaster's falling down inside of it.
Come on, Marge. You can wash it off in my bathroom.
Albright, don't act like a ninny.
I'll get it.
Mr. Honeywell, time catches up with everyone, sooner or later.
Suzanne!
Margie! I come early. It's all right, no?
Of course it is.
Merci. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, madame.
Suzanne, I'm so happy about your engagement.
Thank you, Margie. Francois is simply adorable.
Margie.
I'll be there in just a minute, Mr. Honeywell.
Margie, something wrong?
Yes, but there's nothing you could help with. Hey, wait. Maybe you could. You're young and beautiful, and... Would you pretend to fall for an older man to do me a favor?
Fall for an older man?
My father. He needs something just like this.
But...
Oh, Suzanne, it's wonderful of you to help me.
Margie, I don't understand.
I guess I got a little ahead of myself. You see, my father has a girlfriend named Roberta.
I wonder what's happened to Margie.
We try to help you, and this is all the thanks we get. Well, I won't have you moping around the office. So if you don't...
Dad,
Yes, dear.
would you come into the living room for a minute, please?
Oh, yes, dear.
All set?
I'll do my best. Oh, dear. Francois.
Francois?
My fiancé. He's a very jealous man. But do not worry. He won't get here for a few days yet. I'll fix your papa before that.
I don't think it'll be too difficult. If a 21-year-old French girl getting a mad crush on him doesn't restore Dad's male ego, nothing will. Suzanne, may I present Mr. Honeywell and my father, Suzanne Gilbert.
Monsieur Albright, I am so happy to meet you.
Ah, a little French girl.
That's Mr. Honeywell, Suzanne. I'm Margie's father.
Oh, but it's impossible. You are too young. You make the joke, no?
Oh, no joke, Suzanne. This is Mr. Honeywell. This is my father.
My dear, in all sincerity, I want to say to you, la plume est sur le table. That only means the pen is on the table. But you can't imagine how many people I've impressed with it.
Monsieur Albright, in my country, a gentleman kisses a girl's hand.
Oh, yes, of course.
Some gentlemen have this special technique. You must have spent much time in France, Monsieur Albright.
Oh, I know, Suzanne. Actually, I spent very little time in France.
Oh, Monsieur Albright, you kid me. Some men have it, some men don't. You have it.
Eat?
I think that means it. I'm as surprised as you are, Albright.
Monsieur Albright, you fascinate me. I want to know all about you. Come and talk with me. You must have married very young. How can the father of Margie have such gorgeous black hair?
Oh, that's kind of easy around here.
Suzanne, this is very embarrassing. After all, this is my father. My dear old father. Oh, I just remembered. I'll go run the water and we can...
Water?
Sure, you know, to wash off the...
Forget about it. Don't bother.
But, Dad...
I said forget about it. It's nothing. Just for the sake of conversation, Suzanne, how old would you imagine me to be?
39.
That's pretty close. 38. Wait for me on the terrace, Suzanne. I'll be with you in a minute.
Wait, but don't be long.
What are you two trying to give me? Where'd you get the idea that I'm old? Well, just last week, I played a fella 22 years old, and this is the stroke that got him.
Magnifique.
What are you doing, Dad?
Oh, Margie, I was just showing Suzanne a few of my tennis tricks. What's the favorite game in France, Suzanne?
In France, the favorite game is l'amour.
L'amour? Well, that's love, isn't it?
We love. After all, is not love a game?
Oh, I guess some people would call it a game.
We a game. And I always play for keeps. You fascinate me.
Suzanne, tell us about your fiancé.
My fiancé? Oh, my fiancé. Must I tell you about my fiancé?
Oh yes, please do.
Very well. Captain Francois Molus. He cannot play tennis at all. You fascinate me.
Oh, he's a very attractive young man.
Yeah, but he doesn't have your maturity and handsome black hair.
He's very good looking.
Margie, could I have a little chat with you? Will you excuse us, please?
Certainly. But hurry back, you big boy, you.
We'll be right back.
Dad, what's the matter?
Honey, it's not the sort of thing a daughter would notice, but that little girl in there, that Suzanne, she's crazy about me.
She is?
Yes, but it's done me a lot of good. It's got me over that silly complex I had about getting old. But it isn't fair to her to let her think that she has a chance.
Oh, the poor kid.
Oh, I could tell by that first glance that she was falling hopelessly and helplessly in love with me.
What are you going to do about it?
Oh, what else? I'm going in and tell her she has to fight it.
Fight it?
Yes, fight that mad desire she has to take me in her arms and crush me.
Did she say she wanted to do that?
No, but it's obvious. Oh, you wait till Roberta comes back. Maybe I'll give her a date, and maybe I won't. Come on. I've got to be fair to the poor little kid.
Dad, you're magnificent.
Oh, thanks, honey. Suzanne, I've got something to tell you.
Yes, chérie?
You've got to fight it.
Fight it?
Yes, you must fight that mad urge to take me in your arms and crush me.
But, chérie, what are you trying to tell me?
Oh, Suzanne, this was never meant to be. There's some things about me that you should know. I'm really not 38.
You aren't.
No, I'm almost, well, 42. And this is not to die. Actually, I'm graying around the temples slightly.
Oh, but, chérie.
Oh, it's no use, Suzanne. It just wasn't meant to be. You'll get over me. Think of your captain. Always think of your captain. And in your mind, think of these words, Vive la France. Oh, and these things, somebody always gets hurt. Oh, encourage your baby.
Oh, Margie.
You'll get over it, dear. You'll get over it.
Oh, poor little kid. Oh, I'm going to bed. Oh, fight it, my child. Fight it.
Now,
Margie.
Okay, turn it off. He's in his room.
How was I?
Magnifique. Now, tomorrow you pretend not to find it easy, but you are getting over him, okay?
As you say in your country, got it.
Let's go to bed. Poor Dad. He went for it like a ton of bricks. It was...
But I think it'd make him happy.
If he ever found out you didn't really go for him. But he won't. He'll go through the rest of his life thinking he swept a pretty 21-year-old girl off her feet.
He's very sweet, in a fatherly way. How old is he, really? 55? 60?
You still up? Mr. Albright. Special delivery for you. I thought it might be important.
Oh, thanks, Charlie.
I better stop working so hard. I would have swore you always had white hair.
Charlie, it's from Miss Townsend. Listen to this. I am tired of making up male companions just to have something to write about. So from now on, I'll tell the truth. I'm having a dull time. I miss you and wish you were here because I haven't had a date since I left. And it's signed with love.
Look like I brought you an envelope full of joy.
Oh, you sure did, Charlie. You sure did. Wait until I tell Margie. Oh, wait a second, Charlie.
Yes,
wait a second. I want to ask you something. Now, supposing somebody told you that somebody went for you and it turned out to be a gag, what would you do?
Mr. Albright, always make it a practice not to butt into other folks' business. Good night, sir. Now you got my curiosity up. What's cooking?
My daughter tried to make me think that her girlfriend went for me. And now do you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go them one better. I'm going to go for my daughter's girlfriend. I might even think of marrying her.
That sounds like a lot of fun. But could I ask you something, Mr. Albright?
Sure, Charlie. What is it?
Didn't you used to have white hair? Didn't you?
Here he comes. Don't look so happy. You're not supposed to get over him that fast.
Good morning, Margie.
Good morning, Dad.
Good morning, sweetheart.
Dad!
I did a lot of thinking last night, Margie. And knowing how Suzanne feels about me, I think you'd make Margie a wonderful mother.
Mother? But, Monsieur Albright, last night you told me to fight the feeling I had for you. So all night long I fight it. This morning I win the battle.
Now, don't try to hide your feelings.
Dad, could I see you alone for a second?
Yes, baby. I'll be right back, sweetheart.
Dad, you can't marry Suzanne.
Why can't I?
Well, it's not that you're too old. It's just that she's too young. Who ever heard of a 21-year-old girl with a 21-year-old mother?
It's perfect. You'll be ideal companions. I wonder if my old dinner clothes will be good enough for the wedding. Ya-dee-da-dee, here comes the bride. Ya-dee-da-da-dee-da-da-dum. Ya-dee-da-dee, here comes the bride. Oh, don't worry, darling. When you tell Francois, I'll be standing right beside you. He'll understand, I'm sure.
I'll make Francois understand, sweetheart.
You called me sweetheart.
Oh, Dad, isn't it wonderful? After you left this morning, Suzanne broke down and cried. She really loves you, and I'm not going to stand in your way any longer.
And now, Margie, you must tell him the wonderful news about yourself.
Wonderful news about you?
Yes, Dad. You and Suzanne, well, you've shown me I don't have to hide my feelings any longer. We'll make it a double wedding.
Double wedding?
Yes, Dad. Oh, I've felt this way about him so long, and when I called him and told him, he's here.
Maybe you better think this thing over a little longer, Suzanne.
Oh, but I have thought it over. You fascinate me.
Swell.
Dad,
Oh, yes, dear.
here he is, your future son-in-law.
Hi, Dad. Dad? Mr. Honeywell, this is ridiculous.
How have you been, honey?
Just missing you, darling.
Honey, darling, what are you two, crazy?
Now, sweetheart, if it is all right for us, it is all right for them, no?
No and no. Margie, are you crazy? Mr. Honeywell is too old for you.
Well, if you can be happy with Suzanne, I can be happy with
Georgie?
I've always wanted to call you Mother.
My little girl.
Mr. Honeywell, I mean son, you'll have to forgive me for the silly way I acted. It's just that I never thought of you as a son before. My blessings, honey.
Thanks, Dad.
Come into my arms, my little pigeon.
Mr. Albright, I am not your little pigeon.
Come on, son, we're driving out to Maryland. We're all getting married tonight.
Put me down! Put me
Here
down!
comes the bride. Here comes the bride.
Stop acting ridiculous and listen.
Mr. Albright, my fiancé is very jealous. Francois!
Francois? I guess this is the end of my little gag. You see, Francois, this was just a little gag. They've been gagging me, and I've been gagging them. You understand, a little gag?
Gag? Qu'est-ce que c'est, gag?
Well, I'll explain. You see, it was just a little gag, you know, a little gag. Get it? Gag?
No, punchy nose? Vous comprenez?
Punch in the nose?
Good, vous comprenez?
Say, you.
Francois, why are you so jealous? Monsieur Albright was just trying to explain that it was a joke. I love no one but you, Francois.
Suzanne, I'm so sorry.
Dad! Dad!
My son, what have they done to you?
Dad, what did they do to you?